Hello and welcome to another episode of Lizzie Watches Yaoi, and this time it's Bad Teacher's Equation Part 2. I forgot to mention in the first OVA that this came out in 1994 and the second part came out in 1995. 94-95 was obviously a very prolific year for Yaoi. It was probably the height of its popularity then. But yes, so back to this. So it starts off where the last one left off, with the final meeting between Atsu and Ma-chan. And Atsuki he misreads the entire situation. He starts thinking about Shibata and all the kind things he does, and then he decides that Shibata was just using him all along and lying to him when he really wasn't. He just misunderstands everything. He's like, oh, you've just been playing me when really you were hiding the other one, the Ma-chan, from me. And he's just like, I hate you. And then he runs off. And after that, he avoids school. He just stops coming to school. And Inagami is it's Inagaki. I get the pronunciation so wrong for this one. I'm tired at the moment. I'm sorry, guys. My pronunciations are terrible at the moment. But Inagaki's worried about him because he hasn't come to school. And, just despondent, really. And he's lying at home having a cold. And the brothers are having a bit of a conversation, and Shibata is remembering a time when they were really little and they were playing and hugging and carrying each other, and he's all like, oh, it was my first love. And the reason he doesn't want Atsu to get hurt is because he doesn't want him to get a broken heart like he got when his brother fell in love with the other teacher and chose him over him. He's all sad, and Inagaki is trying to visit, and Atsu is all like, no, I'm not coming, I'm not letting anyone in. And Inagaki's like, oh, well, hopefully maybe you'll come back to school and I'll see you again. Meanwhile, the brothers are talking about a letter they've got from the dad that says he wants them both to move back to Norway. And obviously, Ma-chan doesn't want to move. He's got his new boyfriend, he's got his job, he's happy. But Shibata is all a bit he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he's kind of tired of watching this beautiful relationship play out with his brother and this other guy, and he wants to separate and be a bit more distant. And he's dyed his hair bleach blonde because he's up for a bit of a change. And his brother's all like, if you go, what about me? We've never been separated, we've always been together. I thought we'd always be around each other. And he's like, no, I need some independence, I'm gonna go and move to Norway. And meanwhile, they're hanging out, which I assume is a gay bar. It's definitely run by Okamas, but they all seem really nice people, and it seems like a great bar to go hang out with. So Shibata turns up, and they're all making fun of his new dyed blonde hair. Then his brother turns up, and they're all like, oh, you didn't tell him he was coming. And he's like, oh, you should come and have a drink with us. And Shibata's like, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm going home, I've got other things to do. And they're like, oh, but your brother just got here. And he's like, he didn't come to see me. And they were like, ooh, because really the brothers come to see his boyfriend, and the two of them are so cute. And they just kind of blush really shy at each other, but they're all so happy. You these beautiful, happy, innocent little smiles. And then they sit down and have a drink, and they're having a chat. And Ma-chan really has a good boyfriend who cares about him. And he's all like, oh, the way you worry about your brother and put him first is both your best point and one of your annoying habits. You always love him the most and are worried about him the most. And he's the first most important person in your life. And I get that. I'm just happy if I rank in your top 5. And Ma-chan's all like, oh God, you're cute, and hugs him. And it's all really cute. And then he blushes and he's all embarrassed. And he's like, no, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for the kiss. And just as they're about to kiss, all the stuff pop up behind the sofa, go, woohoo, they're going to kiss. And they're like, oh, no, too embarrassed. They're just a really cute little couple with all the shy blushing and little touches and just looking out for each other and understanding where each other come from. And I'm like, this is really cute. Meanwhile, Inagaki goes to talk to Shibata about the fact that Atsu is not coming to school, and the whole story is revealed. And he's like, really? So how could anyone mistake you for your brother? Your brother's all nice and calm and gentle, and you are mental, and you don't even look like a teacher. And Shibata is all like, you know what, for once in my life I'm going to act like a teacher. I am a teacher. I'm going to go and talk to Atsu. I'm going to convince him to come back to school, and I'm going to do the right thing. And it's he decided he's going to, man up, be a teacher, and try and sort all this drama out of who loves who and what the hell's going on. they all seem to have been sorting things out. Inagaki really wants to kind of go and spend some time with Atsu. Shibata goes to talk to Atsu and is all like, when you're ready to come back to school, we'll be here and we'll talk through everything, and slides the photo out. It seems to snap Atsu out of his like weird daydreams of stupidity, and he then calls up Inagaki and he's like, yeah, do you want to come and hang out? And Inagaki's just the cutest. He's like, woohoo, I get to go on a date with Atsu, and he's all happy and he's all joyous and he's so cute and I love his hair. And side note, I love his hairstyle. And he's all like, yay, and he's going to cheer up, and he does everything to try and cheer up his mate, and it's all lovely. Meanwhile, like, Marchan's boyfriend goes to talk to Shibata and saying, you've got to tell him the real reason why you want to go to Norway. You've got to just like be honest with yourself. He's always thinking about you. You two are always thinking about each other, like punches him in the face. And it's just like, just be honest and talk. If you people would just talk. And it's just like, yes, I'm glad someone is sensible in this, because everybody else is too busy living out their most bizarre version of like a Shakespeare like comedy at the moment. And Shibata's like, oh, well, maybe I should talk to my brother. Meanwhile, like, Atsu isn't as joyous as he wants about hanging out. And Inagaki's like, I've got something that will cheer you up, and he takes him to school. And at first he's like, what are we doing hanging out at school? Meanwhile, like, because it's a Sunday, and he's like, there's going to be no teachers here. Obviously, like, there are, because like Shibata's currently packing up his office for his move to Norway, but neither party know that the other one is there. And it turns out that Inagaki and Eureka have found a box of kittens, and they've been looking after the box of kittens in one of the sports storerooms, and Inagaki's been caring for the kittens, and he thought the kittens might cheer up Atsu. And I'm like, he is best boy. He's cool, he's cute, he's adorable, he's attractive, he's kind, he looks after kittens. And I'm like, dude, why is this not the main romance of the show? I'm just going to pretend they do get together. That's how I'm going to think about it. But it's like a box of kittens, but haha, bad guys have turned up, and it seems like some random gang has been trying to find Inagaki and want to give him a beat down. And so they're like, no, they have to protect the kittens and protect Atsu. And Inagaki and the gang get in a fight, and he beats them all up, and he's starting to win the fight. But obviously one gang member has slipped behind and has put a knife to Atsu. So Inagaki can't fight back because he doesn't want, the guy he loves to get beaten. And so he takes the beat down and has the shit kicked out of him. And for added, like, drama, the gang decides, like, you know what? Let's just kidnap this other boy. He's going to be our trophy, and then we can have our way with him. Because, it wouldn't be a Yaoi Shonen with a little bit of sexual threat going on. Even though no one's actually even kissed yet, because all the near kisses keep being, like, interrupted by everybody else. So it's like, it's barely Shonen, apart from the fact that it's all boys that fancy each other and can't get their emotions straight, and if they just talk to each other honestly, maybe they could work all of this stuff out. So Atsu gets kidnapped, and while it's all going down, he screams for Marchan, and you think that possibly Shibata's heard him. He's like, wait a minute, no, but he doesn't. So he's getting in his car, and he sees the other car speeding off, then Inagaki runs around the corner, and he's like, why the hell are you so beaten up? And he's like, quick, get in your car, we need to chase him. He's like, why should we chase him? They've kidnapped Atsu. And so they get in the car, and then we have this ridiculous chase scene, because why not? Let's have a Fast and Furious action scene in the middle of a, like, romantic comedy, shonen drama shenanigans. And it's a big old epic car race, and the two cars are trying to knock each other off a cliff, and they're smashing into each other. And then, like, the gang boys all come out the roof rack with sticks, trying to beat the other car up, and then they race, and eventually, like, the teacher car overtakes and bumps it, and all the other guys fall out the car, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure all three of them are dead. At the speed they're going, if they fell out of a car and rolled down the road, they'd be dead. So it's just the bad guy driving the car, trying to push him off the road. And then Shibata tells Inagaki to take the wheel of the car. He's like, I don't know how to drive because I don't care. So Inagaki's driving the car at top speed down a road on the side of a cliff. And Shibata opens the door and he's like, Atsu, just jump. And they're like, the Aladdin, like, trust me moment. So of course, like, Atsu jumps out of his speeding car into the arms of a teacher. And he's like, how can you stand the car with the door open, leaning out, catch someone flying at you and not fall out the car? But somehow magically it all works out, and they get back in the car, and Atsu's crying in Shibata's arms, and Inagaki's like, oh, I'm jealous, how can you get to jump? And then the other car smashes into the wall and blows up, and you're like, pretty sure that guy's dead as well, but never mind, who cares about all the dead bodies they potentially are left behind? It's potentially about 5 people are just dead behind them. The important thing is they saved, like, Atsu, and it's all okay. And so they go to drop him off, and Shibata admits that he's moving to Norway, and then drives off, and Atsu's all like, oh my goodness, I'm so confused by all my feelings. And then it finally clicks on him. Wait a minute. He's been telling me all this time that he is not Marchan. He never once tried to deceive me. He was trying to be honest with me. And I just misunderstood the whole situation. And oh no. And then I went and told him that I hated him. Oh no. And it's like, yes, you absolute bloody idiot. You have just been like riding like this along and thinking everybody was manipulating you, and you misunderstand absolutely everybody. And he's like, oh no. So we get to the airport. Shibata's going to get his plane to Norway, and he's calling his dad. And his dad like, what do you mean you're coming alone? He's like, oh no, brother doesn't want to come. He's like, well, I don't want you to come. He's like, am I not good enough? Do you not want me as well? And then the dad gives a really nice speech about how, no, it's not like that. I know how much the two of you need and support each other, but I just wanted to make sure that when the both of you were ready, and if the both of you were in a place where you wanted to come to Norway, you should come and move here. I didn't want to separate you, and I didn't want you to like leave feeling like you had unfinished business or anything. And meanwhile, Shibata's like having flashbacks of his brother, the time on the basketball team, of Atsu, of Inagaki, and he's thinking about like all the people that he feels responsible for, and he's finally taking his teacher role seriously. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I do have a lot of people like relying on me, and I do have like unfinished business and stuff I want to get done here, and I don't want to be separated from everybody. So it cuts back to the bar, and everybody's crying because he's just left without telling them, and everybody's there going, oh, could he just leave? It's so sad. And he walks in and he's like basically going, oh yeah, Dad sent me back, told me not to come. And everyone's like, yay! It's all like, it's all good. Now, and previous to this, like Atsu had run along like the beach to go and find Barchan to finally say, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was just projecting all my feelings onto you, and then I was projecting my feelings onto your brother, and I never got a chance to say I was sorry. And then he's also got his monologue of going, it's time for me to say goodbye to Marchan and the feelings of my youth and move on and just be happier. And so that's good. You've actually made some progress. So back now, he goes up to Rreve and he's all like, I'm really sorry about the horrible things I said to you, about the misunderstandings. I'm sorry that I tried to force my own feelings into situations and didn't listen to you. And good teacher man is all being good teacher, and he's all like, that's okay. It's going to be all right. I don't mind. I accept your apology. Thank you. And then actually throws himself at him going, oh, I really like you. And then hugs him. Obviously, poor Inagaki gets massively jealous and just dries up and gets into a massive fight with Shibata. And Shibata says, it's a misunderstanding. It's not like that. He's just not like that. And that's he's like, oh, I've sorted out my feelings. I've realised that this young love, it's time to pass that, and that I've got to be thankful for the people I have in my life now, and it's all going to be good. And poor Inagaki's just being jealous on the floor, and it's all cute, and then it ends really. And you're just like, well, no one really got together with anybody apart from obviously the other brother and the teacher boyfriend, who are just a cute ass couple. So it ends without you knowing who they actually ended up with who, but the way it ends, it kind of implies that Shibata just wants to be a good teacher. He doesn't have any romantic feelings for anybody apart from obviously his brother, that he has to work through himself, and he realises it's time to stop fancying his brother and being jealous. And so you don't really know who Atsu. I'd like to think that Atsu chose the best friend, because the best friend got beaten up for him, showed him kittens, is nice to him, cares for him, has genuine feelings for him, and is a good person. And I'm like, please. But I think in the manga it's setting up for Shibata and Atsu to finally eventually get into a relationship. But I don't care about the manga at this point. I'm just going to pretend this is where it ends, and it works out the way I want it to work out, because I really liked Inagaki and I think he deserves to be happy with a cute boyfriend. So yeah, it's just a fun, silly little series. There's a lot of near kisses, but no actual kisses. There's no yaoi in it. There's just cute boys with all the misunderstandings, rom-com, weird beatdowns and car chases, and a box of kittens. It's fun. It's cute. I quite liked it. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but it's just humorous and cute. And that's all you can really say about it. It's worth checking out. I definitely think it's one of the more fun ones, even with all the stupid misunderstandings. You're like, oh my goodness, get your emotions in gear. But you know what? I've watched far more misunderstood and angst-ridden things, and it's nice to have some happy, fun, cute gays. They're all soft, cute gays in this, and it's lovely. It's nice seeing that for a change, and done well. And I definitely think, yeah, it should be watched. But for now, this is Lizzie signing off. Bye-byes.